In the evening, I was scanning a shared bicycle, preparing to go tutor a brat, feeling utterly disillusioned with life when a voice called out to me. "Hey, you, the one riding the bicycle." I was startled, turned around. "Me?" "Yes, you, come here." I walked over, looking bewildered. The boy held out a bank card. "Be my girlfriend, I'll give you 200,000 every month, do you want to?" "Huh." The boy repeated impatiently, "Be my girlfriend, I'll give you 200,000 every month, last time I'm asking you, do you want to?" To me, these words sounded like, "Daddy, daddy, 200,000 for free, daddy, daddy." I quickly took the bank card. "Husband." "Good girl." The boy nodded in satisfaction, then casually put his arm around my shoulder, looking disdainfully at the person opposite. "See. 200,000 is nothing to me, but I'd rather feed it to a dog than give it to you. You don't deserve it." I didn't even frown when I heard that. He gave me 200,000, and he can't even call me a little dog? Tisk, who are you trying to fool with a broken bank card? Only then did I notice that opposite us stood another girl, arms crossed, looking arrogant. This beauty had a face that looked like it could revitalize the nation through science and technology, a curvaceous and charming figure, and was dressed in cool attire. But I had no time to appreciate her. An alarm bell was ringing in my heart. What if there was no money in this card? Then my husband would be an empty title. The boy pulled out his phone. "You, open your QR code for payment." I immediately took out my second-hand Apple phone, opened the QR code, and at the same time didn't forget to give the beauty opposite me a grateful look. This is true girls help girls. The boy took out his phone, tapped a few times, and I immediately received a notification. User 13XXXX has transferred 200,000 yuan to you at 1946. Note: voluntary gift, see. The boy showed his phone to the beauty opposite. The beauty's face turned green, unable to utter a word. "Remember, I'm the one who dumped you." The boy put away his phone with satisfaction, turned around and strode away, then after a few steps turned back. "Why are you standing there dumbfounded? Aren't you going to catch up?" I quickly trotted after him. "Coming, husband." The male student walked all the way to the school gate, stopping beside a black Cayenne. He frowned and asked, "Where do you want to go? I'll give you a ride." I originally intended to say the tutoring address, but then I thought about it. I'd already received 200,000, so I immediately changed my mind. "I'm going back to the dorm." "All right, then I won't see you off. There's 400,000 in the card, plus the 200,000 transfer just now. For the next 3 months, you'll be my girlfriend. Any problems?" I clutched the bank card tightly, shaking my head. "No." The male student then pulled up his friend QR code and add me. I quickly added him as a friend and thoughtfully wrote in the application, "I am your girlfriend." The male student accepted my friend request and put away his phone. "All right, that's it for now. If anything comes up, I'll find you on WeChat. I'm leaving." I stood there dumbfounded, not recovering until the black car disappeared from sight. With my dog-shit luck, where I've never even won a try again from buying a drink, could such a good thing really be happening to me? I picked up my phone and confirmed the balance again. 200,803. For the first time, I felt that life was truly worth it. Back at the dormitory, I couldn't wait to quit my tutoring job. Then I started to Baidu search, preventing fraud. I scrolled back and forth but couldn't find this type of fraud method. I returned to the interface and checked the balance again, then looked at the bank card in my hand. It suddenly dawned on me that he hadn't told me the password. I opened the male student's chat window. His moments were visible for 3 days, his profile picture was completely black, and his nickname was blank. I stared at that black blob, feeling troubled again. I didn't know what the male student's name was. After much thought, I brazenly typed, "Hi, boyfriend." Half an hour later, the other side finally replied. "What's up?" I replied instantly. The bank card password, it seems you haven't told me yet." Another half an hour passed, and the other side sent a string of numbers. 1223, immediately after, a 4-second voice message filled with deafening music and noisy sounds arrived. "This is my birthday, remember it well, I'll check later." I typed out, "Not only will I remember it well, I'll engrave it into my DNA if I have to." After thinking about it, I still deleted it and replied, "Got it," accompanied by a cute cat emoji that I hadn't used in 800 years. The other side didn't reply again. I simply fumbled my way to the school's self-service ATM, confirmed the 400,000 balance, and only then returned to the dorm feeling satisfied. I took a shower and went to sleep. In my dream, I moved into Can then Yippin, becoming neighbors with a certain richest man. I was enjoying listening to him reveal the behind-the-scenes stories of some popular trending celebrities when a burst of piercing voices and conversations pulled me back to reality. I closed my eyes, extremely annoyed, and answered, "Hello. Already asleep?" I looked at my watch. It was currently 3:50 a.m. I instinctively retorted otherwise. "Are you scolding me?" I instantly sobered up. "My sugar daddy," I softened my voice. "Baby, I didn't scold you." The other side was quiet for a moment, his voice carrying a hint of drunkenness. "Why didn't you say good night to me before you went asleep?" To be honest, having been single since birth for many years, I never had the habit of reporting to someone before going to sleep. But these words were not good to say directly, so I found an excuse. "I wanted to say it, but I accidentally fell asleep. You know you're my girlfriend, right?" "I know. From now on, whatever treatment other people's boyfriends get, I must get, and whatever others don't have, I also want to have, otherwise don't even think about me topping up." "Topping up? There's this kind of operation." "I understand, I'll pay attention from now on," but I paused, feeling that something needed to be clarified beforehand, that it was agreed beforehand, I sell my art, not my body. The other side laughed. "Don't worry, Jeej abides by the law." I breathed a sigh of relief, extremely satisfied with this job. "Tomorrow morning, when you come downstairs for your early class, I want to see you and breakfast. Dorm number, mobile number, I'll share them with you in a bit." "Okay, baby? N. Go to sleep. Then I'll go to sleep. Good night, baby. N." The call was disconnected. The next day, I woke up extremely early, meticulously tidied myself up, bought breakfast, and waited at the entrance of the male dormitory. Looking at the endless stream of male students, I encountered a new problem. I have low-level face blindness, and yesterday I was only focused on looking at the bank card, the mobile phone balance, the supercar, and the face of science and technology revitalizes the nation. So I somewhat couldn't remember what that male student looked like yesterday. I only remembered that he was wearing all black and had a diamond earring in his left ear. I held the breakfast and seriously stared at every male student's ear, carefully searching. 5 minutes later, a male student dressed entirely in black, with a black earring in his left ear, walked out of the dormitory. I quickly raised a professional smile and went to greet him. "Spend good morning." The male student froze in place. The surrounding air was quiet for a moment, then the male students around him burst into teasing shouts, starting to mock. "Not bad, Jiang Yifen, when did you get a girlfriend? Isn't this our junior? Our department's ice beauty has been won over by you, Jiang Yifen, a senior from my department. Excuse me, my girlfriend wasn't fully awake this morning and recognized the wrong person." A familiar voice sounded from behind me. A male student's slender arm lazily rested on my shoulder. He slightly lowered his head, his dark eyes smiling faintly. "Your husband is here, girlfriend." I felt like I was about to lose my job. After walking a certain distance, he finally let go of me. He unhurriedly took out a cigarette and a lighter, raised an eyebrow, and asked, "Do I look like him?" The boy stood backlit. I barely reached his chest. His narrow, long pupils were slightly upturned, his nose high and straight, his jawline sharp, and thin smoke billowed from his thin lips. His whole being exuded a dangerous yet captivating aura. As for Jiang Yifen, the senior from just now, his build was similar to his, but his facial features were softer, the corners of his eyes slightly drooped, and his lips were of moderate thickness, giving people a gentle and comfortable feeling, as if bathed in a spring breeze. I seriously shook my head. "No, you don't." "Then how could you mistake me? I stood next to you for half an hour, and you ended up running over and calling someone else husband. Half an hour, I didn't see you come down. I didn't stop yesterday, I specifically rushed back for you." The boy feigned a sigh, who knew I'd stand for half an hour and my girlfriend wouldn't recognize me at all, even calling someone else husband right in front of me. "It seems the money wasn't spent in the right place, huh?" "It was spent in the right place, in the right place. When I get back, I'll engrave your face onto a cigarette and inhale it into my lungs. I'll never mistake you again." The boy hooked the corner of his mouth with interest. "Didn't they say you were an ice-cold beauty?" "How come you're taking the Chunabiu route with me?" I immediately showed my attitude. "As long as my husband likes it, I can take any route." He casually extinguished the cigarette and threw it into the trash can. "Considering your good service attitude, I'll forgive you this once. Do you have classes this morning?" I finally relaxed. "Thank you, boss, I don't have classes this morning." He glanced at me indifferently. "Boss?" I said it wrong, husband. If you don't, then come here and accompany me to early class. The boy put his arm around my shoulder and walked towards the teaching building. If you call someone else, husband, again, I'll deduct your salary. Got it. I obediently followed him. Just for these 200,000, let alone accompanying him to class, I'd even accompany him bungee jumping. The boy was 1 year older than me, from the computer science department next door. He pulled me in from behind, immediately sat down in the last row, and began to pick and choose what to eat for breakfast. I don't like this, you finish it. I like soup dumplings, buy more next time. I casually pulled out a notebook from my bag, bit open the pen cap, and started writing. Please continue. The boy raised an eyebrow, leaned over to look at my notebook. Patrons' preferences, breakfast editions, soup dumplings, 1 pancakes. The boy paused, then burst out laughing. Why are you so cute, trying to make me die of laughter? Then he successfully choked, laughing and coughing frantically at the same time, and it took him a while to recover. I silently added a few words. Be careful when feeding, easy to choke. After the professor entered the classroom, the first thing he asked was, Is Song Yan here today? Here. The male student lazily stretched out his hand to indicate. So my good husband is named Song Yan. Finally seeing him in person, it's truly rare. The professor glanced at him and began the lecture. Song Yan swayed from side to side, enduring for a while, then started to sleep. I was bored and decided to help him take notes. Whether I could understand it or not, just writing it down would be enough. Burying my head and taking notes for more than half the class, Song Yan finally raised his head sleepily, propping his chin to watch me write notes. When the bell rang for class dismissal, he asked me in a hoarse voice, Girlfriend, what's your name? Woo sissy. All right. He patted my head with his hand. Wait for me here for a bit, I'm going to smoke a cigarette. As soon as Song Yan left, a pair of hands with luxurious, beautiful nails, delicate and fair, tapped on my desk. Hey! I looked up and saw the good sister from Science and Technology for National Prosperity from yesterday. Hi, you and Song Yan are in the same department. The beauty didn't answer me, frowning as she asked, Are you really with Song Yan? Yes. Her brows furrowed even tighter. You don't even know him, just because he gave you hundreds of thousands, you're with him. Yes. Do you have any bottom line? For money, you'd even give up your dignity. I was puzzled. Do you want to hear what you're saying? Could I possibly give up money for dignity? The beauty got agitated. Who are you? Of course, I'm a diligent worker. I thought for a moment and added, You don't need to fantasize about taking my job. Blocking someone's path to wealth is like killing their parents. Be careful or I won't let you off the hook. Who wants to take your job? Song Yan slowly entered from the back door. I immediately changed my expression, looking weak and pitiful, lowering my gaze. No one. Song Yan frowned and swept a glance at her. Why are you looking for my girlfriend? I tugged at Song Yan's sleeve and said aggrievedly, It's nothing, husband, don't make things difficult for senior sister. Although senior sister said I have no dignity and no bottom line, she didn't mean it. Song Yan glared at the beauty. Now you know to be jealous? Too late. Then he smoothly pulled me into his arms, stroking my head and gently comforting me. Sissy, be good. Don't mind her in the future. Later, husband will take you to buy bags and clothes to properly compensate you. I couldn't help but want to look up and ask him, Are you really buying or just pretending? If you're really buying, can I consider cash? But I didn't ask, because as soon as I tried to look up, Song Yan seemed to know what I was going to do and subtly pressed my head down. You guys, disgusting. The beauty cursed in a high-pitched voice and walked away on her high heels. Song Yan let go of me. All right, stop pretending, you're really good at putting on a show. To appease the boss, I don't refuse. I sat down next to him with a proud expression, and from a distance, I saw the retreating figure of the Science and Technology for National Prosperity sister, and couldn't help but gossip. Baby, how did she make you angry? Song Yan angrily glanced at her retreating figure. What else? She found a land contractor in his 30s or 40s and dumped me. No, you're so handsome and rich. Why did she find an old man in his 30s or 40s? She's blind. Song Yan leaned over, lowering his voice to complain to me. I've never been in a relationship. She followed me for a year, and I thought I'd give it a try. As a result, after talking for a month, she told me she wanted to celebrate her birthday and subtly hinted that I should buy her a bag. That bag cost 20,000 dong, but I was too stingy and didn't agree. I specifically ordered a BMW for her, but on her birthday, she disappeared on me. The next evening, I saw her getting out of an old man's car, constantly saying that I didn't want to give her things and that many people would give them to her. She even told me that if I didn't have money, I shouldn't date, as it would waste her time. As soon as I heard that, I got angry. She said I was in a different line of work, said I had no money. Oh, I suddenly understood. So that's how I got this bargain. My first love was for nothing. I solemnly and strangely patted his shoulder. It's okay, you still have me. First love might be for nothing, but 200,000 will definitely not be for nothing. I will definitely give you a supreme VIP-level dating experience. Song Yan glanced at me. You do well, make me happy, and topping up for 1 or 2 years won't be a problem. Indeed, capitalists are good at drawing big pies. For several consecutive weeks, whenever I wasn't busy, I would go accompany Song Yan to class, then rush back to my own faculty to continue attending my classes. But I disliked Tuesdays the most, because Song Yan had a class in the South Campus and my afternoon classes were at the main campus. The two campuses were quite far apart, which meant I wouldn't have time to eat lunch, leading me to attend class on an empty stomach. Sitting in the classroom, my stomach couldn't help but rumble. I silently lamented that I had truly become delicate after just a few days of good living. I had been without parents since childhood, relying on government policies, subsidies, tuition fee waivers, and constant part-time jobs to successfully pull myself through to university. There weren't many choices in my life. Money was always the most important thing. Almost all my extracurricular time in university was spent either going to a part-time job or on the way to one. I simply had no time to consider things like dating. This also earned me the nickname Iceberg Beauty. Actually, my personality is quite good, I just don't have the time to show it to others. Hello, may I sit here? A gentle voice drifted down from above, interrupting my deep thoughts. It was none other than Jiang Yifan, the senior I had mistaken for a sugar daddy that day. Of course, senior, I said, blushing as I moved over. That morning, I had called him husband in front of so many people, and then I ran off without explaining, which probably made him very embarrassed. Thinking of this, I proactively apologized. I'm so sorry, senior. That morning, I mistook you for someone else. I really didn't do it on purpose. It's fine, I didn't come to find you because of that. Jiang Yifan sat down next to me. Today, I just happened to be free, so I came to audit your class to review. He hesitated for a moment, then continued to ask, but why would junior sister mistake even her own boyfriend? Are you two in an online relationship? I blurted out a fabrication. No, we fell in love at first sight, felt that each other was destined, and started dating instantly. But the time for the first glance was too short, and after sleeping, I had a bit of trouble recognizing him. I couldn't possibly tell him that Song Yan and I had a financial relationship. Is that so? Jiang Yifan turned around, his dark eyes silently looking at me. That's truly a pity. If junior sister had seen me earlier, perhaps it would have been this face that you fell in love with at first sight. Huh. My mind was a bit slow to process for a moment. I had seen Jiang Yifan before. He basically appeared whenever student representatives spoke or represented our department in major competitions. It was just that I had never had any interaction with him, and I never expected him to know me, someone who was always rushing to work. I remember junior sister has always been single. 2 or 3 of my classmates confessed to you and were rejected. I thought junior sister was dedicated to her studies, but it turns out it's because you hadn't met someone you liked enough. Yes, ha ha ha. I nodded outwardly, thinking to myself, where is liked enough? I've met someone rich enough. After that, Jiang Yifan didn't chat with me anymore. He put on a pair of gold-rimmed glasses and listened attentively to the lecture. Occasionally, when he saw my confused expression, he would conveniently explain things to me. I must say, to be able to represent the department in competitions, Jiang Yifan's foundation was very solid, and his explanations were easy to understand. I listened so intently that I didn't even realize when the class ended. It wasn't until Song Yan's sour voice rang out, interrupting our little study session. Darling, mistook your husband again? Jiang Yifan lowered his eyes to look at the textbook, adjusted his glasses. No, I'm explaining a problem to my junior. Is that so? Song Yan hooked the corner of his mouth, but his eyes held no smile. Then darling, listen, next time I brought you lunch. Only then did I see the packaged food bag hooked on Song Yan's fingertips. Thank you, senior, for today. I'll be going now. Jiang Yifan's beautiful eyebrows lifted. Then see you next time, junior. On the way back to the dormitory, Song Yan's face was grim and he didn't say a word. I tried to make conversation. That's good, you brought my meal back specifically. Song Yan tilted his head and glanced at me. Did you eat yourself? Was it delicious? I was completely out of ideas. Song Yan's behavior was too obvious. Even a slow-witted blockhead like me, who is a bit dull when it comes to romance, realized he was jealous. For a moment, I didn't know how to coax him, so I took out my phone and secretly Baidued. How to coax a jealous boyfriend. The first answer was, explain clearly to your boyfriend and explicitly tell him that his position in your heart is irreplaceable. Then be appropriately proactive, care for him more, and do something that makes him happy. Just as I was reading seriously, Song Yan suddenly stopped and said unhappily, "What are you secretly looking at?" "Nothing." I put my phone away. Song Yan's face grew even darker. He took a deep breath and lowered his head to light a cigarette. From his expression, it was clear he was on the verge of exploding. My high-paying job was in grave danger. I quickly explained according to the template, I just happened to run into Senior Jiang Yifan, and I'm not very familiar with him, so don't overthink it. Your position in my heart is irreplaceable. It truly was irreplaceable. Who else could give me 200,000 yuan a month in salary? Song Yan's expression softened a bit. He tilted his head, exhaled a puff of smoke, and asked me, "Then what about your phone?" "What were you hiding?" I hesitated for a moment, but still handed him the phone to see. Song Yan took the phone, scanned it, and the corner of his mouth curled up. "So you know I'm jealous, huh?" I looked up at him. "You're too obvious, it's hard not to know. You're already my girlfriend, yet you called him husband, went to class with him, and even said see you next time. It sounds really unpleasant. I spend 200,000 a month, is it just to be cheated on again?" I was wrong. I hung my head. What's next? Didn't it say above that you have to do something to make me happy? You tell me, what do you want me to do? Song Yan raised his chin. Open the phone camera. I opened the camera. He took my phone, casually pulled a passing classmate and said something, then walked over to me, his cigarette-holding hand naturally resting on my shoulder. Look at the camera. After taking a few photos, Song Yan looked at them and seemed satisfied. I proactively asked, do you want me to post it on my moments to make it official? Consider yourself sensible. Song Yan's brows finally relaxed. He pulled me forward. No rush, you go back and eat lunch first. Your stomach has been rumbling for a while. It'll be rude if it keeps going. I awkwardly rubbed my stomach, not expecting him to have heard it. Back in the dorm, I hadn't even eaten yet, but first I posted on my moments. A group photo accompanied by 3 words, my boyfriend. After finishing a meal, my comment section exploded. All were capitalized question marks. When did you start dating? Is your boyfriend that rich second generation from the computer science department? Didn't you say you were dedicated to making money? Why wouldn't I be? Song Yan didn't comment, he just liked my post. He didn't post on his moments, but of course, I wouldn't mind. As an employee, how could I make demands of my good boss? But after this incident, I felt that my dating experience was insufficient, seriously affecting my boss's dating experience. I learned from my mistakes and decided to find some campus romance novels and sweet romance dramas to watch to make up for my lack of dating knowledge. Just as I opened a certain Korean drama app, the dorm door bang was pushed open, and 2 women shrieked and pounced on me, asking a barrage of questions. You're dating and we only found out from your moments? Who pursued whom first? How did it happen? Have you held hands? Have you kissed? Quickly confess. I was stunned. This matter has to start from. Wait a minute. Dorm leader Xuangshuan manually paused, grabbed 2 bags of potato chips from the cabinet, tore open the packaging. Okay, continue. So I spent 3 minutes, roughly explaining everything to them clearly. The 2 listened, dumbfounded for a long time. 200,000 per month. It's not a scam. Did you sign a contract? I honestly replied. He gave me the money, but no contract was signed. You're stupid, this money should be recoverable. Wait for me to ask my boyfriend, he's in the law department, I'll have him draft a contract for you. Xuangshuan made a call and went outside. The 2 of us stared at each other for 2 minutes, then Xuangshuan came back. We'll go print the contract in a bit, he absolutely must sign it. Chen Jiajia was a bit hesitant. Senior Song Yan, he probably wouldn't do something like try to get the money back, right? My boyfriend is in the same class as him, his family is super rich. We've run into him many times when we were on dates. Every time he drives a different sports car. That won't do. This is 200,000 yuan. We need to be serious. Let's go, we'll go print out the contract right now. I thought about it, it really should be signed. So the three of us from the dorm squeezed into the copy shop downstairs, printed out the contract, and I put it into my canvas tote bag. Zio-Xuan frowned. No, you're earning 200,000 a month. How is your standard of living still stuck at 9 yuan 90 with free shipping? Chen Jiajia echoed, exactly, and it's still early, why don't we go shopping conveniently? I looked at my bag. There's no real need anyway, everyone's a student, as long as it can hold books, isn't that fine? Tusk, Song Yan's friends are all rich second generations. Even if it's just to save face for your sugar daddy, you should buy something decent. I nodded. What you said makes sense. The three of us took a car straight to the shopping mall. Xuangshuan's family background was not bad. She had a lot of research into luxury goods. She selected some basic items of clothing and bags based on my figure and temperament. After a shopping spree, the three of us came out carrying large and small bags. We hadn't walked many steps when Chen Jiajia suddenly whispered, "Sissy, look to your left, it seems to be Song Yan. How come there's another woman next to him? He just officially announced his relationship and he's already cheating?" I quickly turned my head and glanced, showing no change in expression. Song Yan walked forward impatiently with his hands in his pockets. The woman next to him, whose face I couldn't see clearly, was dazzlingly white. She pulled his arm, struggling to keep up with him in high heels. Xuangshuan rolled up her sleeves. It really is him, and he's shamelessly walking towards us. I'll go help you scold the mistress to vent your anger. No. I quickly grabbed Xuangshuan, took out the packaged sunglasses and hat, put them on, bent down, and stealthily pulled the two of them to quickly retreat. Let's go quickly, don't let him see me. The three of us, pulling and dragging, hid in a luxury goods store. I secretly poked my head out, scouting the enemy situation. Xuangshuan angrily pulled me back and took off my sunglasses. No, I don't understand. Who exactly cheated? Why are you running faster than him? What's going on here? Of course he cheated, but I can't let him know that I know he cheated. What if he gets angry out of shame and wants to break up with me? Where can I find such a good thing again? Xuangshuan gave a thumbs up. Excuse me, my perspective was too narrow. The three of us shamelessly waited in the luxury goods store until closing time. Only after confirming that we wouldn't run into Song Yan did we timidly return. Not long after arriving at the dormitory, Song Yan sent a message. Did you go out today? I completely denied it, no. It concerned 200,000 yuan, admitting it was impossible. Song Yan and I became increasingly familiar with each other. Occasionally, when he woke up early, he would wait for me downstairs at the dorm. I diligently practiced my makeup skills. One day, I deliberately woke up early to put on exquisite light makeup, with my black curly hair draped over my shoulders and wearing a pure white dress. As soon as I went downstairs, I saw a tall, slender figure standing under a ginkgo tree. "Good morning, husband." I greeted him proactively. Song Yan casually looked up. When he saw me, his smoking motion paused and his eyes stared deeply at me for 2 seconds. Immediately after, he extinguished his cigarette and walked over in a few steps. "Do I look good?" I proactively spun around to show him. He curved the corner of his mouth, patiently watched me finish my display. Beautiful. "Why did you specifically put on makeup today?" "From now on, I'll put on makeup every day." I proactively linked my arm through his. Song Yan's arm stiffened for an instant. He turned his head away a bit awkwardly. "You're quite pretty even without makeup." As soon as he finished speaking, his phone rang. Song Yan looked down at it, then answered the call somewhat reluctantly. "What do you want?" "Yan, darling." The voice on the other end of the phone was a woman's, so gentle it was almost dripping with sweetness. I don't know if she accidentally pressed the speaker, but the voice was exceptionally clear. The situation was a bit awkward, so I decided to give them some private space. "I'm going upstairs to get something." After saying that, I quickly ran back to the dorm. It was a good chance to pick up the contract Xuangshuan had given me to think about. Then I quietly observed from the corridor window, waiting for him to finish his call before going out. Song Yan's mood suddenly became very bad. His face was covered in gloom, and he didn't speak a word the whole way. It dawned on me belatedly that I probably shouldn't have spoken up just now. Was it that his little sister was immature and misunderstood when she heard the woman's voice, then argued with him? I was a bit anxious, even wanting to teach him a few tricks myself. Say I'm a classmate, say I'm a sister, either would work. Can't he even make up such a small lie? During class, Song Yan also sat silently. I worried idly beside him. What are you waiting for? Take out your phone, hurry up and coax her. After one short class, I was restless. Song Yan finally couldn't help but ask, what are you fidgeting about over there? Ha ha, I forced a fake smile, new clothes, not quite used to them. He stared at me for 2 seconds, then suddenly leaned in a bit. A woman just called me, aren't you jealous? Do you really just see me as an emotionless ATM? To be honest, I didn't seem to be jealous. With just these 200,000 yuan, my eyes could encompass the Sahara Desert. But lovers in a relationship should be jealous. Of course I'm jealous, I said righteously. Then show me you're jealous. I extended my small fist and lightly punched Song Yan's chest. Bad man, how could you be like this? I love you so much, yet you're actually holding hands with other girls and going shopping, and even talking on the phone in front of me. I made it up as I went along. Don't be like that next time, baby. Your punishment is to sign this contract. When I handed the contract over, Song Yan was completely stunned. After a long while, he finally darkened his face and signed the contract with a few quick strokes. You really are something, you sissy. Song Yan was angry. He didn't need me to accompany him to class, nor did he reply to my messages, and he repeatedly walked shoulder to shoulder with female students on campus. For some reason, I kept running into them. This forced me to carry a hat, mask, and sunglasses with me at all times. As soon as I saw him, I would fully arm myself and quickly hide, thoroughly implementing the incognito strategy. Xuangshuan and Chen Jiajia were dragged along by me, avoiding him every day. For a good while, our dorm was like a guerrilla squad, eyes scanning all directions, ears listening to all sounds. I pondered for several days, not knowing how to coax him. Send roses, arrange a heart shape downstairs, write an apology letter. Unable to find a solution, I sent Song Yan a WeChat message, asking to talk to him. If I could coax him, I would. If not, I would resign. Anyway, I had already earned the money, and I couldn't fight this guerrilla war anymore. Night fell before Song Yan replied. He sent a location, which was a certain bar. Arriving at the bar entrance, I called Song Yan. However, it was his friend who answered the phone. Is that sister-in-law? Come on in, brother Song Yan is drunk. The bar's music was deafening. Young men and women with dazzling makeup came and went, and the dance floor was a swirling wave of heat. As soon as I walked in, several boys waved at me. Sister-in-law, over here. I had never seen them before and didn't know how they recognized me at a glance. After walking over, I saw Song Yan lying sideways on the long sofa, his arm lightly covering his eyes, revealing only his thin lips and sharp jawline. Sister-in-law, did you quarrel with brother Song Yan? He's been drinking for several days straight. It's rare for you to come today, quickly coax him. That's right, sister-in-law, brother Song Yan really likes you. Look at how pitiful he is, don't hold it against him. The boys spoke one after another, leaving me speechless. I leaned closer, squatted beside Song Yan, gently shook his hand that was covering his forehead, and whispered, Song Yan, are you okay? Song Yan frowned, grabbing my wildly shaking hand. Song Yan, didn't you used to call me husband every day before? Just as the song changed, the music paused for a few seconds, and everyone around heard his words. Oh my, so sweet. He couldn't even speak clearly just now, but now that he sees sister-in-law, he's talking so quickly. Waves of teasing and noise came one after another, making my face completely red. You talk less, you won't die. Song Yan casually threw a pillow over, then rubbed his temples and stood up unsteadily. I quietly asked him, shall I take you home? Song Yan put one arm over my shoulder, his steps a little unsteady. He really likes putting his arm over my shoulder. Given our height difference, I often suspect he's using me as a crutch. The driver changed the address and drove to a 2-story villa. I helped Song Yan out of the car. Is anyone home? No, his voice was muffled. I hesitated for a long time, looking at Song Yan's wobbly steps, and still decided to help him settle down at home. Otherwise, he would definitely fall and get into trouble. The room was pitch black. I could only barely make out the general layout of the room by the moonlight. 2 floors, several doors. I had no choice but to ask him, where is your bedroom? No need, I can just sleep on the sofa. I stopped him. Since I've brought you in, go sleep in the bedroom. Song Yan lowered his head, resting it on my forehead, pulling me closer. Although the light in the room was dim, a few hours of starlight seemed to illuminate Song Yan's dark pupils. He lowered his voice. Woo sissy, although I'm an ATM, I'm also a man. Are you really so at ease with me? My heart pounded and I turned my head away, feeling a little flustered. Not at ease. Then that's good. Stay with me and sit on the sofa for a while. Song Yan slumped onto the sofa, gently pulling my hand, and I tumbled into his arms. Sissy, I'm in a bad mood. Please coax me. My face was flushed as I lay in his arms, thinking for a long time, don't be in a bad mood. Song Yan couldn't help but chuckle, his chest gently vibrating with it, making my chest tingle. You don't even know how to coax people. Is this your VIP-level treatment? I felt inexplicably a little angry. I'm already letting you hug me. What more do you want, a bicycle? All right, I give up. This is good enough. Just as he finished speaking, Song Yan's phone rang at an inopportune moment. He took out his phone, looked at it, and handed it to me. You answer it. I glanced at the caller ID. It was a woman's name, which made me feel a bit at a loss. Could it be that I had to help him get angry again? Don't overthink it. That's my mom. Just say I'm asleep. I answered the phone with some guilt. Hello, Auntie. Song Yan is already asleep. May I ask him to call you back tomorrow? Are you his girlfriend? The voice on the other end rang out, and I was stunned. It was actually the woman who called him Yan Yan Beabe that day. Her voice seemed naturally soft and delicate, making everything she said sound like she was acting spoiled. I glanced at Song Yan. His chin was resting on my shoulder, and he didn't say a word. I had no choice but to brace myself. Yes, Auntie. Oh my, really? Yan Yan didn't even tell me he had a girlfriend. Beabe, how old are you? Are you from the same school as Yan Yan? For the next 20 minutes, I began to receive a full-scale interrogation from Song Yan's mother, asking about everything from my education and age to my family background. When I told her I had no parents, she clearly paused for 2 seconds, then gently said, Is that so? Then you must have suffered a lot. It's all right, I guess, I answered casually. Finally, I used the excuse of needing rest to hang up the phone. Auntie is very gentle. Why didn't you want to answer? Song Yan's expression changed. I don't know. Then, is your bad mood these past few days because you argued with Auntie? We didn't argue. Song Yan smiled bitterly. It's because my mom's birthday and my dad's death anniversary are on the same day. But your mom couldn't choose that, could she? Yes, that reason is very forced. Song Yan lowered his eyes. Woo Sissy, do you know, I used to be a child with no parents too. Impossible, I said, looking around. Even without the lights on, I could vaguely make out the luxuriousness of this villa. Could it be that you were adopted? No. When I was in elementary school, my father fell seriously ill. My mother divorced him and we had no money, so we could only give up on treatment. He passed away very quickly. After that, I became an orphan. Later, in high school, my mother reappeared. My stepfather was very rich, but he couldn't have children, so she found me and wanted me to come back. A few days ago, it was my mother's birthday. She didn't know that her birthday was on the same day as my father's death anniversary, and I didn't tell her. But when I look at her, I always wonder if my father could have lived a little longer if she hadn't left back then. My stepfather treats me as if I were his own, and my mother tries her best to compensate me. I know she was just pursuing a better life, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's always a thorn in my heart. Every time I try to get a little closer to her, that thorn digs deeper. Sissy, do you resent your own parents? No, I answered without thinking. Life is short. I don't want to live in resentment. When some people complain about their bare feet, there are others in the world who have no feet at all. My limbs are intact. What hurdle can't I overcome? Comforting people is something you can't learn. Let's try some chicken soup for the soul. Song Yan looked at me profoundly. You, Sissy, you're not at all like I imagined. Then what was I like in your imagination? Every time I saw you at school, you had a cold face, looking deeply aggrieved and resentful. Nonsense. I rolled my eyes. Can you smile every day when you're working? I look at everyone as if they owe me 2 million. Then you should just honestly go to work. Song Yan pulled me closer. Read me a bedtime story and coax me to sleep. This counts as overtime. I mumbled and started to Beidou bedtime stories. Once upon a time, there was a mountain. In the mountain, there was a temple. In the temple, there was an old monk and a young monk. As I read, my eyelids grew heavier and heavier, and the night grew deeper and deeper. In my dream, I heard Song Yan's voice. Sissy, how about we try to seriously date? I answered groggily. Add money. 400,000. I shook my head. 400,000 is not the price for a boyfriend. Huh, 400,000 for you to be my boyfriend would be an injustice to you. Let me directly upgrade you to my reborn parents, and I'll work like an ox or a horse to show my filial piety to you. How about that? Pretend I didn't say anything. Don't, we can still negotiate. 350,000 is fine too. Song Yan's voice disappeared from my dream, only I was left muttering. Are you still there? Hello? How about a flat rate of 300,000? Shut up, sleep. Oh. The next day I was so sore all over, my back aching, that I could barely get up. Song Yan shoved me into the car and we rushed to school for early classes. I rubbed my waist and complained. How tightly did you hug me? I feel like my waist is broken. Song Yan's tone was embarrassed. I wasn't afraid you'd fall, was I? It wasn't on purpose. You weren't afraid I'd fall, you were afraid I wouldn't die. All right, I'll compensate you. Give me your card number, I'll renew for a year. I immediately felt energized and sent a string of numbers, then realized. Aren't you graduating in half a year? None of your business. I just like schoolgirls, okay? I pondered. If you put it that way, I'll have to consider taking a leave of absence and repeating a year. Song Yan gave me an utterly speechless glance. There's really nothing you wouldn't dare to imagine. Stepping onto the campus just in time for class, there was only one empty seat in the classroom. As soon as I went over and sat down, two bullet-like gazes swept over from the desk in front. Chen Jiajia and Xuan were looking at me with expressions of disappointment, as if I were a piece of iron that couldn't be forged into steel. Yesterday, I told them I was going out to talk to Song Yan, and then I went out. I didn't even have time to reply to their messages before I fell asleep. Not coming back to sleep at night, they probably misunderstood. After enduring 2 hours with great difficulty, as soon as the dismissal bell rang, Xuan and Chen Jiajia quickly dragged me back to the dormitory, sat down with solemn seriousness, and said, Sissy, let's talk. If Song Yan has fallen in love with someone else, let him go. We know you're really short on money, but you can't use your body to keep a man. You doing this, we really? Stop. I quickly interrupted, afraid they would say something scandalous. Nothing happened yesterday. Song Yan drank too much and I just sent him back. Xuan stared at me suspiciously. Really nothing at all? Just a hug. Was it consensual? Well, half consensual. Chen Jiajia frowned. After all that, was it you who coveted his body? Don't talk nonsense, how could I? I lowered my head guiltily. I can't say I had absolutely no impure thoughts. I did somewhat covet it. In less than half a year, my notebook, named Sugar Daddy's Favorite, was densely filled. My role as a girlfriend became increasingly proficient. What Song Yan liked to eat, loved to drink, was obsessed with playing, and even the personalities of his friends and his mother I had clearly figured out. I hit the nail on the head, strictly adhering to female virtues every day, never making him jealous. I also thoroughly read 10 rules every smart woman must know, never checking his phone, never questioning his whereabouts, giving him ample freedom. Occasionally, when we had conflicts, it was usually Song Yan complaining that I gave him too much freedom. In my free time, I would also go to Song Yan's villa, because he required me to cook for him personally. There was also one time I ran into Song Yan's mother returning home. The aunt was very enthusiastic. With me there, Song Yan also seemed less awkward, and we got along quite happily. Unbeknownst to me, I had completely integrated into his life. If it weren't for the more than 1 million on my bank card, I would have almost forgot that there was still a financial relationship between us. During the National Day holiday, I had no home to return to and was idle in the dormitory, so Song Yan dragged me back to his small villa. While waiting for him at the school gate, the beautiful woman from the Science and Technology Revitalizes the Nation group, whom I hadn't seen for a long time, appeared again. She stepped on high heels, her eyes filled with crazy disdain as she looked at me and Song Yan on the motorcycle. She leisurely got into a convertible sports car, and the sports car roared away. My motorcycle is more expensive than that broken sports car. What's there to be so arrogant about? Hold me tight. As soon as he finished speaking, the motorcycle roared and sped off. I tightly hugged Song Yan's waist. Through his thin t-shirt, I always felt his waist was a little strange and couldn't help but curiously touch it for a while longer. Your belly fat, why is it hard? That's damn abs, have you touched enough? Oh. I awkwardly withdrew my hand, and turning my head, I immediately saw that convertible sports car embarrassingly stopped in the middle of the road. The driver was nowhere to be seen. It seemed the car had broken down. Song Yan slowed down, and I immediately cooperated tacitly. Senior sister, you wait slowly. We're leaving first, bye. Song Yan sped up the motorcycle and roared away. On the way to the villa, a sentence quietly flashed through my mind. When my husband fights, I hand him the knife. When my husband curses, I shout along. But I never expected that if my husband cheated, I would still have to serve him during his confinement. Returning to the villa with Song Yan, we both carried a pile of snacks, sat on the rug in his bedroom, and started watching a horror movie by casting our phones to the screen. We were timid, yet we loved watching. After less than half an hour, I had already burrowed into Song Yan's arms. Just as we reached the most thrilling part of the horror movie, countless high-energy warnings flashed across the bullet comments. I clutched Song Yan's arm, staring intently at the screen, preparing for the scene of screams and shrieks. His WeChat suddenly popped up with 2 messages. I'm pregnant. The due date is in a few days. The atmosphere subtly quieted. I stared at those words, even ignoring the terrifying ghost face on the screen below. After a long while, I thought about my credit card limit and hesitantly opened my mouth. How about I go serve the good sister during her confinement? Song Yan's arm, which was holding mine, suddenly loosened. All right, he looked at me with a hint of coldness. Get ready tomorrow. You go serve her while she gives birth, otherwise I'm afraid you won't feel at ease earning this money. Okay, good, I'll go prepare now. I silently picked up my bag, went to the shopping mall, and bought baby supplies. As I bought things, tears inexplicably started falling. I didn't even know what I was buying, carrying several bags of baby supplies, sitting in the bustling shopping mall in a daze. You sissy? Jiang Yifan's face suddenly came into view. Senior, I quickly wiped my tears. What's this? He looked at the baby supplies in my hand. I explained while wiping tears. No, these are for my good sister. Jiang Yifan looked shocked. Xiao Xuan is pregnant. I couldn't help but start crying again, sobbing. Not them, it's Song Yan's girlfriend. But aren't you his girlfriend? Did you break up? We didn't break up. I have to go serve his mistress during her confinement. Boo-hoo-hoo, senior. Why is my life so miserable? I hugged Jiang Yifan's arm and started wailing. Jiang Yifan was completely bewildered, comforting me for half an hour with disjointed words until my emotions slowly stabilized. After I calmed down, Senior Jiang Yifan carefully looked at me. Do you feel better after crying it out? Yes. I lowered my head, starting to feel embarrassed about my earlier thoughtless words. Fortunately, Senior Jiang Yifan didn't press further, only helped me carry my large and small bags and walked me downstairs. Shall I take you back? No need. I stared at a fleeting figure not far away. It seemed to be Song Yan. You sissy. Huh, I snapped back to reality. The warm yellow streetlights shone on Jiang Yifan's face, making his already gentle demeanor even softer. If Song Yan isn't good to you, you can consider me. I lowered my head, staring at the pile of baby supplies at my feet, and bit my lip, saying, Actually, Song Yan is quite good to me. Even though he made me serve his mistress during her confinement, he's quite good to me. Senior Jiang Yifan smiled politely and distantly. Understood, I respect your choice. He seemed to be always like that, gentle, considerate, and steadfast. However, the sudden and uncontrollable emotions just now made me clearly realize that my feelings for Song Yan might have turned from acting into reality. Even if I now discovered that I was nothing more than a working fish in his fishing net, I could only say that I would take this money with even more peace of mind. By the time I took the car back to the villa, Song Yan was already asleep. I also tidied up a bit and then went to sleep. It was originally just a transaction, so there was nothing for me to be angry about. My emotions breaking down just now might have been because some corner of my heart, which held a certain expectation, suddenly collapsed. Early the next morning, I took the maternity supplies I had bought and rode in Song Yan's car to serve his mistress during her confinement. Upon reaching the hospital room door, Song Yan stopped. You go in first, I'll be back in a moment. I nodded and went in by myself. The woman in the room was sleeping. She was about 28 or 29 years old. Her whole body was so fair it seemed to glow. She must have been the woman I accidentally met at the mall last time. I tried to put down the things in my hands as lightly as possible, but I still woke her up. The woman slowly propped herself up. Sister, why are you here? Where's Song Yan? My heart ached. Her calling me sister was as practiced and natural as my own. Sure enough, a rich man can make a woman abandon her principles, not hesitating to call each other sisters. Hello, sister. I greeted her very tactfully and began to pour her warm water. Song Yan said he'd be back in a moment and asked me to take care of you first. No, 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 just put it here. You're a guest, how can I let you take care of me? It's nothing, sister. I smiled bitterly and started working. All right, just consider it finding myself a nanny job. 200,000 a month, I'm not losing out at all. Just as I was working diligently, a strange man entered. After entering, the man went straight to the woman on the hospital bed, sat beside her, and gently kissed her forehead. How are you? Still uncomfortable? The woman kissed his cheek. Not uncomfortable, baby. I watched, dumbfounded. A love square. Who was cheating on whom, after all? Is this the world of the rich? At least be a little discreet in front of me. I stood there, not daring to make a sound. At this moment, Song Yan came in carrying a pile of nutritional supplements. The two people on the bed were still leaning against each other. My heart was a little excited. Here it comes, here it comes. Whose head will the green hat finally land on? The answer is about to be revealed. Unexpectedly, the man on the bed remained expressionless and greeted him gently. Song Yan is here. The woman, however, spoke up to scold him. You're really something, letting your sister-in-law come alone while you ran off. Didn't I come? Besides, she was so determined to serve you during your confinement, I couldn't stop her. We were stunned. Song Yan then introduced me. This is my cousin, and this is my cousin's husband. Me, damn it. At dusk, Song Yan brought me back. As soon as we got home, I punched him in the chest. Are you messing with me? Hiss. Song Yan rubbed his chest. How am I messing with you? You wanted to serve someone in confinement, so I brought you there. Is there a problem? You clearly knew I thought it was you. I what? Song Yan lowered his eyes, gripped my waist, and pulled me forward. Girlfriend, aren't you my girlfriend? You knew I misunderstood and you still didn't explain. You, woo sissy, have such a big heart. You're even willing to serve a mistress in confinement. What else could you misunderstand? Besides, when I went to explain to you, didn't you already have a senior? Fine, you're the boss, I won't argue with you. I angrily pushed him away. Song Yan held my wrist and pulled me back to his side. Woo sissy, I don't want to be your boss. Fire me. I'll exchange my entire family fortune for a marriage certificate with you, okay? Dream on. How much family fortune can a student have? I spoke my mind, saying exactly what I thought. Song Yan was amused by my words. Anyway, 20 million a month can make me your boss for 20 or 30 years. What? High standards. Thinking of the countless empty slots in my savings, I swallowed. But I still stopped myself in time. No, it's too fast. I haven't graduated yet, haven't started working. Maybe in the future, I'll be richer than you and I can also hire a student for 20 million a month to be my boyfriend. Don't even think about it. Song Yan lowered his head, resting it against my forehead, his gaze deep. Then I want the status of a boyfriend. As if burned by his deep gaze, I awkwardly shifted my eyes. Aren't you already my boyfriend? Not a name only. Song Yan leaned in a little closer, his lips brushing against the tip of my nose. I want it in the true sense. For example, this kind of a warm sensation fell, and my mind went blank. I don't know how long it took before I regained my senses. Song Yan, won't you despise me for being a gold digger? I wish you were a little more of a gold digger, so when I exchange my family fortune for a marriage certificate with you, you won't refuse. Then, shall we try it first? Song Yan curved his lips. Okay, then let's continue. Soon, Song Yan graduated. After graduating, he didn't go to his stepfather's company, but instead went to work in software development. Consequently, his family cut off his living expenses. At that time, my luck buff suddenly activated again. The stocks I casually bought soared like a kite in the wind, and my savings multiplied several times over. I simply bought several small apartments in one go, while simultaneously pursuing my master's degree and collecting rent. Although Song Yan was also earning money, it was clearly not as exaggerated as mine. Suddenly, I was even richer than Song Yan. This made Song Yan wary every day, exercising daily, afraid that I would really go and hire a male student to be my boyfriend. On the evening of our second anniversary, he uncharacteristically gave in, hugging me and resentfully saying, "Sissy, what should I do? You're so young and already a rich lady. Are you going to look down on my entire family fortune even more?" I nodded. Indeed, I do look down on it. Song Yan lowered his head and thought for a long time. Then I won't do software development. How about you look at my stepfather's entire family fortune? If it's acceptable, I'll go home and inherit the company. Song Yan looked at me with righteous indignation. Why? There's so much family property, it's a waste not to use it. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Then I'll also hire you to be my boyfriend. From now on, I'll be your boss. If I haven't fired you after 2 years, I'll make you a permanent employee. How about that? It's a deal. Song Yan was afraid I would change my mind. From then on, Song Yan also acquired a notebook titled Rich Woman's Favorite. He was exceptionally serious, every page densely covered in black. That day, he quietly flipped through the notebook and sighed, "Look at my attitude, it's much more serious than yours was back then." I couldn't help but take it and flip through it. I discovered that the first few pages actually started 2 years ago. Each day only had a few brief sentences. Turns out I'm not the only one who doesn't know how to date. You sissy actually Beidued today how to coax a boyfriend. First group photo, how come I feel like I'm not as good as her? Waited for a long time and still didn't see you sissy letting me post on my moments, couldn't resist announcing it behind her back. First time showing affection, a bit nervous. Today, when my cousin dragged me to buy a birthday gift for my mom, I ran into you sissy. When she saw me, she furtively put on sunglasses and ran away, so strange. Today you sissy actually put on makeup, damn beautiful. My mood was already bad today, and you sissy kept changing ways to make me sign contracts, so infuriating. I've been dragging classmates for walks for 3 or 4 days straight. Not only did you sissy not come to coax me, but she also put on sunglasses and ran away whenever she saw me. Is this the treatment a sugar daddy should receive? Endless entanglement, those are sunglasses, you sissy, not invisibility glasses. Today I hugged you sissy, the atmosphere, my heart, all melted. Wanted to confess, but how did it turn into top up for another year? Never mind, let's prepare mentally first, I'll confess next year. Sissy cooked for me today, so delicious. I love watching horror movies with Sissy the most. She holds me and doesn't let go. Sissy is so cute. Actually, when Sissy isn't working, her face is also very sour. Only when she's with me does she love to smile. I really like that. Further on, it was all such rainbow farts. How wonderful, I picked up a pure love-struck fool. Don't look, it didn't feel this sour when I wrote it. Song Yan snatched the notebook, his ear tips so red they looked like they were about to bleed. From now on, it won't be called Rich Woman's Favorite, it'll be changed to Simp's Diary. I corrected him. What simp? This is called professional dedication. Sissy, I let you read my diary, you should let me read yours too. My head shook like a rattle drum. Impossible, absolutely impossible, don't even think about it. Because my diary only had 2 New Year's wishes. Hope you sissy has a bright future. Hope you sissy and Song Yan, time changes, years pass. Extra story, the landlady you sissy's life, after successfully passing the graduate school entrance exam, for convenience I bought several properties near the school. 1 unit I kept for myself to live in, and the rest I rented out. After posting the rental advertisement, rental applications quickly flooded in. I spent an entire evening selecting a few perfect tenants. Song Yan sat opposite me, holding my phone, and asked doubtfully, "Isn't this the junior from my basketball team?" I was startled, then immediately nodded. Yes, seeing as it's for your sake, I even agreed to give him a discount. How considerate. Song Yan nodded with satisfaction, then went on to look at the next tenant's information. Isn't this my friend from the gym? You really know how to pick. Both of them are. Song Yan paused. He furrowed his brows, quickly scanned the information of several people, and then started looking at the rental advertisement I had posted. High quality, super low price guest room for rent requirements. Male under 23 years old, height 180 cm, 4'8" pack abs, if exceptionally handsome, the above requirements can be disregarded. Note, all neighbors are youthful, beautiful girls, so you can move in with peace of mind. Song Yan's mouth twitched. You sissy. I looked innocent. What's wrong? I did it all for your sake. Are you renting out a house or looking for a partner? So, I've been going to the gym 365 days a year for nothing, right? You sissy, you have no heart. Of course not. I started making up excuses. Isn't this to create a good study environment for myself? Besides, think about it, if I'm at home every day looking at gym goers with abs, would I still go to nightclubs or other messy places looking for excitement? Definitely not. Song Yan's face grew darker. You sissy, do you even believe what you're saying? Are 6-pack abs not enough for you to look at? Do you want 8-pack abs? I gave him a resentful glance. They're enough to look at, but you won't let me touch them. All right, I'll let you touch them. Song Yan stood up, grabbed the collar of his t-shirt with one hand, and took off his top in 2 seconds. Just don't run away after you're done touching. I looked at the abs so close to me and swallowed. Are you kidding? Would I run away from such a good thing? Normally, I'm the one shamelessly sneaking a feel, but this is the first time I'm openly experiencing the sensation of abs. I was very casual. But as I stroked, Song Yan's gaze became even darker, his eyes deep and fixed on me, his Adam's apple bobbing. I finally realized something was wrong, and with a bit of panic, I let go of my hand and threw Song Yan's t-shirt back to him. That's enough touching for today, you should put it on first. Song Yan pulled me back, picked me up, and headed towards the bedroom. I warned you beforehand, it's useless to regret now. You lit the fire, you're responsible for putting it out. You reap what you sow. By the time the fire was extinguished, it was already midnight. My phone vibrated frantically, and I had no choice but to endure Song Yan's gloomy gaze and open my phone to check the messages. Aside from a few inquiring messages from the Tennant brothers, all the others were from Xuangshuan and Chen Jiajia, who were frantically ing me in the dorm group chat. Xuangshuan, Sissy, how did your chat with the brothers go? Do you want to rent to them? You definitely have to rent to that sports student, arrange the room next to mine for him. If he doesn't have enough money, give him a 50 discount, I'll cover the rest. Jiajia, Sissy, speak up quickly, how is it? Have the 2 brothers I chose been arranged? After signing the contract, remember to push their WeChat accounts to me. Just say I'm the beautiful neighbor, and also lend me your white dress to wear, I want to establish my fairy image. The 2 had sent hundreds of messages, all with similar content. Me, let's talk tomorrow, I just finished coaxing Song Yan. Xuangshuan, coaxed him until so late, awesome. Jiajia, I suggest you retract that, I'm jealous, I also want to coax a brother. Song Yan leaned in from behind, so, you're running a matchmaking service for your little sisters here. I dimmed the screen. What do you know? This is called deep sisterly affection. Xuangshuan broke up a year ago, and Chen Jiajia has been single since birth. The 2 of them would turn sour every day watching Song Yan and me show affection. Helplessly, I resorted to this last resort, using my resources to provide my sisters with the opportunity to choose high-quality partners. Song Yan spoke sourly, then why don't you move in with me? Thinking about you seeing sports students' abs every day at home, I'm jealous too. That won't do, I have to be here to ensure their safety. Everything is for my sisters, it's definitely not because I want to look. Really? Song Yan's hot palm came over, then you continue to coax me until you never want to see abs again. Me. Despite Song Yan's strong objections, the younger brothers still successfully moved in. Chen Jiajia and Xuangshuan dressed themselves up to be gentle and charming every day, even putting on a period seductive outfit just to take out the trash. After Song Yan complained alone for a while, Chen Jiajia and Xuangshuan couldn't stand it anymore. They pulled him aside to talk privately. I don't know what the 3 of them discussed, but Song Yan came out with a relaxed expression. Later, I took advantage of a break while watching a play together to complain to the 2 of them. Song Yan has been so clingy lately, I don't have any personal space. Xuangshuan popped a grape into her mouth. Isn't clingy good? It means he's not cheating. Chen Jiajia followed up. Exactly, there are so many scumbags these days. A clingy, loyal boyfriend like Song Yan, you wouldn't find even if you searched with a lantern. Me. The 2 people who had always sided with me actually started speaking up for Song Yan. Moreover, after I complained to the 2 of them, the frequency with which Song Yan sought me out significantly decreased. I vaguely felt that something was wrong, but I had no evidence. Until one afternoon, I was buried in writing my thesis at home when someone rang my doorbell. Opening the door, it turned out to be Senior Jiang Yifan. I heard he had already entered the workforce. His demeanor was still refined, but his eyes held a few more sharp edges. Seeing it was me, he was also momentarily stunned. Long time no see, Sissy. I was slightly surprised. Long time no see, Senior. How did you know I was here? I didn't know. I just heard from a friend that the rent here is very cheap and the requirements. He paused for 2 seconds. I meet them all. Haha, Senior certainly meets them. I was so embarrassed my toes could dig into the ground, feeling my image was ruined in an instant. I should have known better than to let Chen Jiajia and the others write the rental requirements. They were the ones who flirted with handsome guys, I was the one who lost face. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. The door next to ours opened, and 2 heads popped out. Senior Jiang Yifan, why are you here? Chen Jiajia's eyes were like a little secret agent's. Did Senior specifically come to find our sissy? No, it's a coincidence, none of your business. I secretly gave them a glare, then turned back with a smile. Senior, coincidentally, there's a younger brother looking for a roommate to share rent. I'll take you to see the room. With that, I led Jiang Yifan to see the room. The younger brother was a freshman, 18 or 19 years old, with fair and tender skin and pure eyes. He was just a bit short, roughly reaching Jiang Yifan's chin. He opened the door and politely greeted. Hello, landlady sister. Hello, big brother. Jiang Yifan adjusted his glasses, subtly sizing up the younger brother. Hello. Neither of them spoke much, but they seemed relatively satisfied with each other. That afternoon, Jiang Yifan signed the contract and moved in. I diligently helped him tidy up the house. Sissy, Jiang Yifan looked at me, busy inside and out, and suddenly asked, Are you and Songyan still together? I didn't think too much. Yes, we're still together. Jiang Yifan's hand, which was hanging clothes, suddenly stopped. He frowned tightly. Sissy, did you really go to serve during confinement? Serve during confinement? I stiffened, immediately shaking my head repeatedly. No, that was my overactive imagination, a misunderstanding. Of course, even if it wasn't a misunderstanding, I would have done it. That's good then. Jiang Yifan breathed a sigh of relief, hesitated for a moment, but still opened his mouth to ask, Sissy, I want to know, did you really have no feelings for me at all back then? I smiled awkwardly. Perhaps I was already deeply rooted in my feelings for Songyan. At that time, my eyes only saw him. Whether I had feelings or not, I don't remember. I can only blame Songyan for giving so much back then. Seeing Songyan during that period was as joyful as seeing an empty savings account. Naturally, there was no room for anyone else in my eyes. Jiang Yifan didn't speak, and I felt a bit at a loss. Fortunately, my co-renting younger brother appeared at the door in time. Sister, it's already evening, you should go rest quickly, I'll help out. That's right, it's getting a bit late. You two can take your time with it, I'll leave first. I took the opportunity to descend the stairs and quickly escaped. Passing by the fire escape, I unexpectedly heard Xuangshuan's voice. Little Song, come here quickly. Today, Senior Jiang Yifan came to rent a room, and I just heard him asking Sissy if she had feelings for him. It's a bit dangerous. Why don't you pack up your things and move here too? Chen Jiajia's voice followed immediately. What are you still talking about being clingy or not clingy? Proximity breeds affection. If Sissy gets taken by Senior Jiang Yifan, you'll be crying. Cough, cough. I coughed lightly. Xuangshuan reacted extremely quickly. All right, I get it, hanging up now. I folded my arms and looked at the two of them. Don't pretend, are you trying to rebel? Heh, aren't we just helping you discipline Song Yan and make him a perfect boyfriend? The two of them walked over with playful grins, hugging me and bombarding me in turns. One was responsible for spewing sophistry, the other for blowing smoke. In less than half an hour, I unpromisingly calmed down. The two people had just left my house when the doorbell rang again. Song Yan, looking travel-worn and tired, stood at my door, carrying a suitcase. I immediately blocked the door. What are you doing? Although you gave me 200,000 and I only gave you 2,000, I never said anything about including accommodation. Sissy, I can't afford the rent, so I'll just stay for a few days, okay? Song Yan coaxed me while simultaneously squeezing his way into the room. Be good, okay? I'll let you touch my abs every day from now on. I don't really want to touch them anymore. Then touching other places is fine too, as long as it can cover the rent. I suspected he was driving, but I had no evidence. Never mind anyway, I wasn't losing out. Living together doesn't feel bad at all. Song Yan clearly knows he's swamped, but he still rushes back to cook for me. If he really can't make it, he'll bring me a bento box. Many times, seeing him a bit tired, I'd take the initiative to cook. After that, he would use his actions to show that he wasn't tired at all. Chen Jiajia and Xuan also enthusiastically started dating. Jiang Yifan came to find me once. At that time, I was hugging potato chips and watching a drama. Song Yan had just come out of the bathroom, rubbing his wet hair as he went to open the door. By the time I got there, Jiang Yifan had already left. After that, the number of times I saw Jiang Yifan became fewer and fewer. Occasionally, when I did see him, it was him and his co-renting younger brother walking their dog together. One night at midnight, I had an insatiable craving and ran downstairs to the convenience store to buy Odin. On my way back, I ran into Jiang Yifan and his younger brother returning home together. The two hadn't even entered the elevator, but the smell of alcohol wafted over first. Jiang Yifan was wearing a suit with a few hints of drunkenness in his eyes. His younger brother seemed completely drunk, leaning entirely on Jiang Yifan. When he saw me, he weakly greeted, "Landlady sister." "Hi," I stood on the other side of the elevator, hugging my Odin. "Are you two out drinking together?" Jiang Yifan nodded. "Yes, that's right. He's in a bad mood." His younger brother interjected, "What nonsense are you talking about? Clearly, it was you, ding." The elevator arrived just then. Jiang Yifan took the opportunity to cover his mouth. "He's drunk and talking nonsense. Take him back to sleep first." I was watching the two of them sway away when Song Yan mysteriously appeared from behind me. "Is he handsome?" I said speechlessly. "Can't I even look?" Song Yan was good in every way except he loved to be jealous, especially jealous of Jiang Yifan. He blocked my view. "No, you can't look. Especially not at men who harbor ill intentions towards you. You absolutely cannot look." I continued to be speechless. "It's been half a year, okay? Maybe he's already moved on." "Impossible. We're all adults. What's impossible? You don't understand a man's intuition," Song Yan said with conviction. The next morning, I wanted to go deliver things to Jiang Yifan and his rented younger brother. Song Yan quickly stepped forward to stop me. "Little matter, I'll go." However, in less than a minute, Song Yan had already returned. "So fast?" I stared at Song Yan's inexplicably flushed face. Song Yan said slowly, looking thoughtful. "My intuition, it seems, wasn't very accurate." "Really?" I was curious and couldn't help but ask, "What did you see?" "Could it be that senior Jiang Yifan brought a girl back?" "It's just..." Song Yan hesitated for a long time. "Forget it, you'll know later anyway. It has nothing to do with the two of us. Why not do something important instead?" "Oh, that's true." We're getting married. The night before the wedding, Song Yan held several documents and wanted me to sign them. There were a few documents. The first one was about asset transfer. Song Yan hooked the corner of his mouth. "Sissy, my net worth has doubled now." "Doubled how many times?" "Several times." I flipped through the document. "All written with my name?" "Written with your name, voluntarily gifted prenuptial asset notarization. As long as you leave me, I'll be bankrupt." "Aren't you afraid I'll run away with the money? You should know, when it comes to money, I have no bottom line." Song Yan shrugged. "Not afraid." I gave a direct assessment. Late-stage love-struck idiot. I like it. Extra story. Song Yan, the first time I saw you, Sissy, was when she was a freshman registering. Almost everyone else beside her had parents or relatives accompanying them, but she was alone, carrying a large suitcase, pushing through the crowd, stopping at the dormitory entrance, panting heavily, taking a slight rest. Her lonely appearance seemed to coincide with my past self. I couldn't resist, so I walked forward, picked up her suitcase without a word, preparing to help her move it into the dormitory. Unexpectedly, Sissy hugged her suitcase tightly and said vigilantly, "Big brother, what are you doing? There's no money inside." I said angrily, "I'm doing a good deed, helping you move your luggage." "Oh," Sissy's face turned red. "Sorry, I'm overly cautious." "You don't need to help me move it, I'm fine." After saying that, she found strength from somewhere, picked up the suitcase in one go and walked quickly towards the dormitory. Looking at her back, I couldn't help but roll my eyes. I secretly swore that I would never again meddle in this country bumpkin's affairs. However, I always intentionally or unintentionally paid attention to her. Beautiful and unique girls always attract attention. From my classmates, I roughly learned about her background. But even though I was curious about her, I would not actively approach her. After all, I had been given the cold shoulder the first time. Moreover, every time I passed her, she always had a cold face, looking like she was in a hurry. I would absolutely not do anything to make myself lose face. 1 year later, I fell in love. I tried it out with an experimental attitude. I knew that girl was only pursuing me relentlessly, following me for over a year because she saw me driving a luxury car and wearing a famous watch. As a wealthy person, I didn't dislike gold digging, but I couldn't tolerate being cuckolded. In extreme anger, Sissy's figure came into my sight. I knew she needed money, and I was certain she wouldn't refuse me, so I called out to her. I thought she would hesitate for at least a moment, but I didn't expect her to pull the bank card from my hand with such decisive action, as if afraid I would regret it a second later. Even if I really wanted to regret it, once she finished calling me husband, it seemed I had no room for regret. On the first day of our relationship, Sissy mistook someone. I rushed back to school early in the morning and waited for her at the entrance of the male dormitory. As a result, she walked straight past me, holding a portion of breakfast, then stared intently at the male dormitory with a serious expression. I decided not to greet her, to see when she would react. Half an hour later, her gaze paused, and she finally moved. I thought she finally recognized me, and I took a few steps forward, maintaining my composure. Unexpectedly, she walked straight past again, leaving me standing awkwardly in place. I watched her, holding the breakfast, sweetly call out "husband" to Jiang Yifan. It made me laugh out of sheer anger. Well, yesterday her eyes were only focused on the bank card in my hand. Perhaps it was because I had just been searched. I saw you, Sissy, and Jiang Yifan appear together again, and I was jealous. I didn't intend to hide my emotions. After all, what's wrong with spending money and coaxing me? However, you, Sissy, probably doesn't have much dating experience. She was forced by me to the point of having to Baidu how to coax a boyfriend. When I went to the mall with my cousin, I saw you, Sissy, and her roommate from afar. Just as I was about to say hello, she, wearing a hat and sunglasses, pulled her roommate and ran away furtively. This smooth operation left my cousin and me stunned on the spot. My cousin teased me, "Your girlfriend is a weirdo, huh?" She really is. As long as a woman's figure appears beside me, she always has a look of "I understand, don't worry," and quickly retreats. The more she acts like that, the more inexplicably uncomfortable I feel. Shouldn't the experience of love include jealousy? I decided to teach her a lesson, ignoring her and letting her reflect on her own. This worked out great. Not only did she not understand my intention, but she even made it worse, retreating fully armed whenever she saw me. Doesn't she know that wearing a hat and sunglasses on campus, then furtively hiding behind a tree and looking around, attracts even more attention? To prevent you, Sissy, from continuing to lose face, I still didn't bother arguing with her. However, it just so happened to be my mother's birthday, and I wasn't in the mood to look for her. So I drank for a few days, and everyone thought you, Sissy, and I had a fight. They had seen me announce you, Sissy, in my friend's circle. As soon as you, Sissy, approached, they started giving random advice. I felt embarrassed and continued to pretend to sleep. You, Sissy, uncharacteristically, kindly took me home. Looking at her sparkling eyes and listening to her elementary school-level chicken soup for the soul, I suddenly felt that love seemed very beautiful. Although you, Sissy, was very clumsy at comforting people, the feeling of having every word responded to was really not bad. I originally wanted to confess, but you, Sissy's not-so-big heart was full of money, successfully making me back down. It's a bit early. Anyway, I have money, so I can take my time. As time passed, I grew more accustomed to Vu Sissy's companionship. I knew that in Sissy's heart, our relationship was limited to money. But I currently had no way to change this situation, so I usually endured whenever possible. Until my cousin's due date was approaching, and she had been frequently uncomfortable recently. She sent a WeChat message, merely complaining that I hadn't visited her lately, asking if I had forgotten she was still pregnant. But when Vu Sissy thought that was the other woman, and even offered to serve her during her confinement, I completely lost my patience. In a fit of anger, I couldn't be bothered to explain to Vu Sissy. If she wanted to serve during confinement, then she should go. Anyway, for her, serving anyone during confinement was the same. When I calmed down and wanted to find Vu Sissy to explain, I happened to run into her and Jiang Yifan talking face to face about something. In my anger, I went home alone. The next day, although Vu Sissy was still stubborn, her small face was pale and her eye sockets were dark. While feeling heartbroken, I had a bold guess. It turned out Vu Sissy liked me too. I myself don't know when exactly I fell for you, Sissy. Perhaps it was when she called me husband without hesitation. Perhaps it was when she earnestly remembered my preferences. Perhaps it was when she cooperated with my sarcastic remarks to help me vent my anger. Perhaps it was when she brazenly displayed her little money-grubbing nature. Perhaps it was when she not so cleverly coaxed me into signing the contract. Perhaps it was when she wore sunglasses and tried to hide everywhere. Each image remained in my memory, finally converging into her appearance. I know you, Sissy's secret. On the day of my graduation, I accidentally saw her notebook. On the flyleaf, there were 2 lines written by her own hand. May you Sissy's future be as beautiful as brocade. May you Sissy and Song Yan with the changing months and years. We appreciate you listening to the story at AudioLoveTales. Kindly like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content.